What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's discuss TNA Impact from January the 18th, 2024. TNA is back. This show was solid. I'm not going to hold you guys up. It was solid. It's been about 2.5 months since I've done a TNA review, and TNA is headed in the right direction. 2024 will be the year of TNA. I guarantee you guys that. TNA is going places. They're going places for sure. This show was solid. Solid. It wasn't perfect, but this was a solid show. This is the fallout from Hard to Kill. So we kicked the show off with the first match of the night. It was a 6-man scramble involving Jake Something, Speedball Mike Bailey, Trey Miguel, Laredo Kid, El Hingo, Del Vikingo, and Kushida and Jake Something. Very solid, good match. Crazy spots everywhere. Towards the end of the match, Laredo Kid hits a nasty Spanish fly to, I believe it was Mike Bailey. And then Jake Something hits the Into the Void, which is like Abyss's Black Hole Slam, but better for the 1, 2, 3. So Jake Something is doing pretty okay thus far. Hopefully they build him up and he gets to go after the X Division Championship, because Jake Something is fucking awesome. He is good. He's very, very good. I like him. He's solid. And he needs to be pushed. He needs to. That's one thing that TNA needs to do, is push guys that they normally don't push. You know, Jake Something literally can be something for TNA if they build him up and use him right. And I think if he becomes either X Division champion or maybe the digital media champion, he needs to win championship gold in 2024. Hopefully he does become X Division champion in due time. Moving on. So Gia Miller, she's backstage. She's interviewing Will Ospreay. She's talking about his match with Josh Alexander later on tonight for the main event. So Will Ospreay says that he's the best wrestler and that it's time for Josh to step up and that he has one chance to put down the best wrestler in the world today. Okay, pretty good stuff. Moving on from that, so we get a pretty cool little vignette featuring Ash by Elegance, who used to be known as Dana Brooke. So she signed a contract with TNA, so that's great. So this makes sense. I like it. Ash is going to do big things in TNA for sure. Hopefully, with Trinity being gone and Deonna Purrazzo being gone, hopefully they can bring in maybe Mandy Rose or Lacey Evans. Her real name is Macy something. I can't remember her last name, but her first name is Macy. So hopefully they can bring them in sometime this year, I hope. I don't see either of them going to AEW. I just don't. Moving on. So, Giselle Shaw is in a backstage segment, she's holding up the X, putting the knockouts on notice. So Gail Kim comes in and hugs Giselle Shaw, and then Shaw attempts to say something, but she shoves Gail Kim away, and that is that. So, it really cares. It's not important. Again, they need to do something with Jordynne Grace. Hopefully, Jordynne Grace will have a little mini feud with Giselle Shaw, and then Jordynne can go on her way and do something else. That's what I would do. Giselle Shaw, no, let's not push Giselle Shaw. Let's just not. Okay? Moving on. So Tasha Steelz versus Xia Brookside. Very good little match. So, Xia Brookside wins via the Brookside bomb for the 1-2-3, which is great. I really like Xia Brookside. She's really good. Very good stuff. So they're building her up. And the Knockouts division is solid. Again, Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity will be missed. But you can replace those two. You can easily replace those two. Again, if they get Mandy Rose and Lacey Evans, that'll definitely be a step in the right direction, for sure. Because Danny Luna and Xia Brookside are good. They're good signings for sure. Moving on. So we get a recap of Joe Hendry and AJ Francis. Their exchange from Hard to Kill on the pre-show. We saw the Cheez-Its video that Hendry made making fun of AJ Francis. So it was pretty funny stuff. I enjoyed it. So then Joe Hendry, he's talking backstage about how he got attacked by AJ Francis. Joe Hendry says that he understands and that he paid for airtime calling him the Cheez-Its champion. Then Hendry slams down a laptop on DJ Who Kid as he looks to be sleeping, so that's fine. They're a pretty good little comedy segment there. I like this little feud between AJ Francis and Joe Hendry. I think it'll be a good little feud. I don't know if it's going to last towards the next TNA Plus event. I was about to say Impact Plus event because I'm so used to saying that, but now it's TNA, so the next TNA Plus event. We should get one in February. If not, we'll get one in March, but we'll probably get one in February for sure. Maybe we can do a startup feud starting at the next TNA Premium Live event, whenever that will be. You can start that feud, I guess. I don't fucking know. Who knows? Moving on. Grizzled Young Veterans, James Drake and Zach Gibson taking on Frankie Kazarian and Eric Young. Oh my God, what the fuck? I wanted to burn my television. Thankfully, the Grizzled Young Vets get the win. So that was great. So it looks like the Grizzled Young Vets are going to stick around in Impact. So, because I remember Tom Hannafin mentioned on commentary, if the Grizzled Young Vets going to win, this might put them in title contention against the Impact. Against Ace and Bake, the Ace and Bake connection. So that's fine there. That'd be great. They'll probably stick around and sign with TNA. Again, I don't see them going anywhere, being used properly. Definitely not AEW. TNA could definitely use them, and hopefully they can bring in some other tag teams. I think people fail to realize that WWE is going to be doing releases after Mania. They've been doing that for the past 4 years, and it's not going to change at all. So I wouldn't be shocked if they do some more after Mania, for sure. So TNA probably has their eyes on certain talent that may get released. Who knows? But I'm just saying there are going to be releases that are going to happen post-Mania. But post-match, Frankie Kazarian, he looks frustrated at Eric Young out of nowhere. Frankie Kazarian clotheslines Eric Young. And then the fans call Frankie Kazarian an asshole. And then he's about to leave, but he comes back and beats the shit out of Eric Young. He stomps on Eric Young, telling him that this is supposed to be his year. And then Frankie Kazarian grabs Eric Young and drops him with the Fade to Black, which is basically the dead eye that Hangman Page uses. And then Frankie points to the TNA logo on the ring mat. He leaves the ring, and then we get "Fuck you, Kazarian." Fuck you, Frankie chants from the Vegas crowd. That was great. I love that. Really, really good stuff there. This is fine, I guess, as long as this is just going to be a TV feud, and this is not going to spill over into any type of Impact. TNA Plus event or TNA Premium Live event. You can't do that. This is fine for television, but it's not really that important. Again, I don't give a fuck about Eric Young or Frankie Kazarian. Both of those guys are better off just being backstage producers, and that's it. Enough. But no one even knows why this even happened. This is the shit that I'm talking about with TNA that I don't like. It's why are you pushing guys that don't matter? Moving on. So, Eddie Edwards and Alicia Edwards, Moose and Myers, they're eating in a restaurant. The system, they're talking about hard to kill, and no one's gonna slow them down, not even Nic Nemeth. Moose says it's a new beginning for everyone. Moose says that he only wants to be known as the TNA World Champion, no longer the wrestling god. And he'll prove to the world, always trust the system. Who gives a fuck? Next, Nic Nemeth, he comes out, he gets on the mic. He gets a really good reception. He mentions his WWE career, how that he was fortunate over 19 years. He said that he still has it. He says that he's had a lot of years of accomplishment, 19 years in one world, and he is nervous, scared, and intimidated, but he's also excited. He says that he picked a spot in the ring, lined up face to face with the TNA World Champion. Next says he's going to become TNA World Champion when he wins it. He'll celebrate with the fans, and it'll be the best night of his career. He says that he respects the men and women of TNA too much to stroll in and want a shot now. He says this is day one for him, all over again. It starts here right now. He said he's going to earn it, basically. He said he's going to earn it all the way to the top, and he's not going to stop. He says this is the first time he's ever done this before. He's going to do it as Nic Nemeth. So Steve Maclin comes out. He gets on the mic. So Maclin said that he agrees with Nic, and he says that they both come from the same cloth, and they both landed in TNA. Maclin says he worked his way out to the top to being champion. Maclin says when he looks at Nic, he sees a phony. So then he tries to talk, and then he's caught up by Maclin. Maclin calls Ziggler a phony again, and then Maclin says that he's not the man that gives and doesn't take. So Maclin cuts him off again. Maclin says Nic is here to suck the blood out of TNA and then leave. Steve Maclin says this is his sandbox and no one will remember Nic Nemeth. They'll ask what happened to Dolph Ziggler. And then Nic knocks the mic out of Maclin's hand. They have a little brawl scene real quick. And then Nic hits the zigzag, which is great. So, Ziggler versus Nic Nemeth. This feud should be interesting. I like it. And we should get a long feud between the two. Maybe start at whatever is the next premium live event going to be for TNA. And then I guess you kind of want to end it at Slammiversary. But I think that's a little bit... No, I guess you want to end it at Rebellion. So Rebellion is in April. So you could have their feud end at Rebellion. I'm hoping they would do Nic and Moose at Slammiversary. I think that would be great. So give Moose a 6-month reign as champion. And have him work with whoever he's going to work with. And then, come Slammiversary, he coughs up the TNA championship and gives it to Dolph. So this is great. Again, this is a great little feud here. I do think that Ziggler probably signed a 3-year deal for sure. He's going to be with AEW. He's going to be with TNA for at least a good 3 years. I don't think they're going to let him pull a Trinity, like how she just came in and she was just there for, 8 months and then dipped. So I think they probably have Nic locking the key. I don't think Scott D'Amore would be that damn stupid not to have Nic locked down, because he needs to. Moving on. So, Gia Miller, she interviews Jordynne Grace, who's a 3-time knockout champion. Jordynne Grace says it was a historical event and puts over Trinity. Jordynne Grace is cut off by Trinity, who says that she'll be taking her rematch and she'll be walking out as TNA champion. TNA Knockouts champion, world champion next week. Trinity says she'll walk out the second time as the champion. So this is great. So I guess they're going to write her off next week, which is fine. Makes perfect sense. So we should see Trinity at the Rumble next weekend, which is warranted. Again, I do wish that Scott D'Amore would have locked Trinity down in at least a 2-year deal at least, where she couldn't go anywhere for at least, another year, like 2025. I think that would be good if Scott would have done that, but he didn't, so it is what it is. But the match should be good. Moving on. So, I wanted to burn my TV because lame-ass, worthless-ass Jay Vidal came out and he says that, he's trying to take it all in and says that, for those who don't know, he broke into Pro Wrestling in Vegas. He says that he looks around and the fans, the reason he left Vegas, he says to stop booing him and that there's no one in the building that can beat him up. So then PCO's music hits. And then we get the same entrance from PCO as we did with Hard to Kill, where he's being operated on doctors and all that. And then he is resuscitated. So this leads us into PCO versus Jay Vidal. PCO wins via the choke slam into the PCO stop for the 1-2-3. Who gives a shit? Fuck this shit. PCO needs to be a backstage producer along with Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, Moose, and the like. Motor City Machine Guns, same thing, all those guys. Main event in the evening, Josh Alexander versus Will Ospreay 2. Very, very good match here. Towards the end of the match, there was a table spot where Will Ospreay put Josh through a table via, I believe it was like some type of power bomb. So anyway, towards the end of the match, Josh Alexander does the Styles Clash into a C4 spike for the 1-2-3. So now Josh and Will are now 1-1. How are we going to break the tie? I have no idea. Maybe Scott D'Amore can work out a deal with Tony Khan and work at Forbidden Door. Maybe at Forbidden Door you can add in New Japan and TNA. Something. We got to do, something. So, I don't know. Post-match. So, Scott D'Amore gets on the mic. He says, holy shit. The fans start a holy shit chant. Scott D'Amore says that he loves his business since he was a child. Since he was 4 years old. So, Scott D'Amore says it's guys like Will Ospreay that make wrestling, and then we get some TNA chants. Scott D'Amore says that TNA chants never died because of the fans, because of Will Ospreay, who was a TNA kid. He says he gave it, he says that it gave the roster something to live for and something to fight for. Scott D'Amore says if he dies walking through the curtain, he'll die happy because hard to kill, and he watched the match of his life. He says TNA is back, and it's never going away. So that was good there. And we also get the Cross the Line theme. And then Will and Josh, they embrace each other. And then the show goes off the air. So that was pretty good. Pretty good stuff there. I enjoyed it for the most part. I could deal without the nonsensical Jay Vidal stuff, PCL stuff. Frankie Kazarian, along with Eric Young, same thing. We don't need that stuff on our television. But Nic Nemeth, Steve Maclin feud, I'm down for that. That's good. We're starting to build towards that. Trinity and Jordan Grace. We're going to get that next week, which should be good. So, all in all, like I said, the show was good. TNA is definitely going into the right direction. They're headed into the right direction for sure. And Will Ospreay and Josh Alexander, they did pretty well. They did very, very well. I don't know when we're going to get the third match between them. Maybe at Forbidden Door sometime. Maybe at Slammiversary or something like that. Maybe in the Bound for Glory. Who knows? But it'll happen. But I'm definitely intrigued for the Nic Nemeth, Steve Maclin feud. I think that'll be great. And I hope that Dolph Ziggler does stick around for at least a good 3 years in TNA, and he, goes between TNA and New Japan. I think that would be great. But all in all, my bad. All TNA was good. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.